My view was she performed perhaps rather better than might have been expected in terms of the way she carried herself, but she stuck to her guns in a way that Boris Johnson never would have done.
Yeah, I completely agree in many regards, Nigel. It's pretty confident, pretty self-assured performance from Liz Truss. Now, in many ways, we probably shouldn't be surprised by that. She spent an awful lot of time at that dispatch box. Up until yesterday, she had been the longest-serving current cabinet minister, so she is used to that. But PMQs is another playing field altogether, and she did step up to the mark, I felt, today, with straightforward answers on actual policies you have rightly pointed out, and even quite effective at times with those pithy remarks. All I would say, though, was it a little bit duller than we're normally used to. None of the flowery language and the charisma we got from Boris Johnson, almost certainly. But maybe, Nigel, that's actually what voters want in these serious times, is a real reflection on serious policy being debated. And as you say, a proper choice, not just on personality now for voters, but also on ideology too.
Yeah, I mean, look, when Boris Johnson was challenged on windfall taxes, he just collapsed and did what the Labour Party wanted. It's pretty clear to me Liz Truss will not. And yeah, you may be right. There may not be the showmanship when Boris was there, but it was a very interesting debate. Now, something else that has happened today, in the wake of a government that has very, very few Rishi Sunak supporters, and that really was very, very clear. She's picked her own team. That's the decision she's taken. But I was fascinated to hear this morning that the British Bill of Rights, Dominic Raab's much vaunted British Bill of Rights, which was due to have its second reading next week, which I have to say, I always thought was a complete dog's dinner and wouldn't do anything, in my opinion, to sort out our relationship with the ECHR. That is going to be dropped. So do we have any idea what Suella Braverman is going to put in its place?
In one word, no, Nigel, is the honest answer. This is all a massive mess for the government. As you say, the British Bill of Rights, the idea that Dominic Raab had come up with was a way of trying to curb the influence of the European Court of Human Rights on our society, on decisions that are made in courts, to try and promote free speech, try and allow the deportation of foreign criminals, allow maybe even the Rwanda policy, which has been challenged, of course, in the European Court of Human Rights, to go ahead.
Yeah.
But it is all a very legal mess. It is effectively being dropped by the government today. And in the end, they say that they're reflecting on this. They're looking at it. Brandon Lewis, the Justice Secretary, is going to review it, that they are clear they want to go forward on this. And Suella Braverman, as you've rightly pointed out, is someone as the Home Secretary who's even hinted at leaving the European Convention on Human Rights altogether, though I think that's pretty unlikely. But for many others, even some senior Conservatives, they're now saying, because of parliamentary time, this well could all be dead. And it is a bit of a blow, I would suggest, to the government, given the fact that they've made such an issue over the last couple of years, and even Liz Truss over the summer, about trying to tackle this issue of the influence that the European Court of Human Rights has on our legislative process, on our court system here in Britain. The idea, of course, of the British Human Rights Act, essentially, was to give supremacy to a large degree to Parliament, or indeed to our Supreme Court. And that is all now, tonight, in tatters.